Hey guys, I'm really sorry I've missed you all this week, but I wanted to make sure that you had a little bit of an understanding of what you needed to do when we talk about aspect ratios with TVs. So basically what this Nearpod is telling you is that we have two kinds of aspect ratios when it comes to TVs. If you think back in the day, like the old school TVs, they had an aspect ratio of 4:3. And what that meant is that they just looked a little bit more like a square. They were more like a box. Now, if you think of the TVs we have, they're a lot wider, and we have widescreen TVs, right? And these widescreen TVs have an aspect ratio of 16:9. Now, when we talk about measuring a TV, we're looking at the diagonal. So whatever the diagonal is. So like, for instance, the diagonal of the TV in my classroom is 80 inches. So every TV in the school is about an 80-inch TV. So what I want to do now is I'm going to show you how we would find the width and height of an older 25-inch television whose screen has an aspect ratio of 4:3. So first, I'm going to give myself kind of a visual of that 4:3. If I drew an older TV, and let's say this older TV, the width was 4, the height was 3. Okay, and then eventually we'll figure out the width and height of a TV that is 25-inch with that 4:3 ratio. So before we can really start doing anything, we need to figure out what the diagonal is here. If any of you were really good at geometry, you've probably looked at this and you already know. But I want you to notice that you know one side of this square, you know the other side of the square, and I need to figure out the diagonal. So this is very similar to the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It doesn't matter which one I choose is a, which one I choose is b, as long as the hypotenuse or the middle, the diagonal right here, is c. So I'm going to use 4 as a, so 4 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. And this is just to figure out the diagonal of this TV. So 4 squared is 16, 3 squared is 9 equals c squared. 16 plus 9 is going to give us 25. So 25 equals c squared. And then I want to square root both sides to figure out what c is. So c equals 20, the square root of 25 is 5. So what this tells us is that the diagonal of this like smaller TV is 5. Okay, and that's what's going to help us figure out the sides of the larger TV. Now when I look at the sides of the larger TV, I'm going to label one side X and the other side Y. Okay, let's figure out X first. The way I'm going to figure out side X is I want to use a proportion. I know that this TV also has an aspect ratio of 4:3. So when I set up my proportion, I'm going to start with the width of this smaller TV over the diagonal of the smaller TV. This is that butterfly method that we used the last time I was in class. Then is set equal to the width of the larger TV over what we know for the larger TV, which is the diagonal. Okay, lots of y'all remembered this last time. We do the butterfly method where we cross multiply and divide. So 4 times 25 gives us 100. And we want to divide by 5, or divide by 5. So 100 equals 5x. Divide both sides by 5. X equals 20. Okay, so that's one side. If x is 20, now I can pretty easily figure out y using the same steps, except for this time instead of 4, I want to use the number 3. So now I'm going to look at the height of the TV. So 3 over the diagonal, which is 5, that's the smaller one, is set equal to the ratio of the larger one, so y over 25. Okay, this is where I would cross multiply and divide. 3 times 25 gives me 75, equals 5 times y, which is 5y. And then I want to divide both sides by 5. 5 over 5 cancels. So y equals 75 divided by 5 is 15. Sorry, you can't see that. There we go. Okay, so that means y is 15. So now I know that the width and height of an older 25-inch TV would be 20 by 15. Their ratio is 20 by 15. Now the last step it's going to ask you for is what is the area of this TV? Okay, I have my TV where the height was 15 and the width was 20. All I have to do is multiply width times height. So 20 times 15. And I get 300.